to give you guys a little bit of an update. It's been a couple of weeks, and yeah, so by the time you guys are watching this, I will be 37 weeks pregnant. You can't see big old baby belly right here, which is a big milestone for us. We did not know if we would make it this far, so we're considered full term now, and that's very exciting because we have had some pretty, you know, big scares in this pregnancy. So we're down to the wire. We're on baby watch now. So the last time I updated you guys, I want to say it was around 30 weeks, and everything was okay. Around 33 weeks, I started to notice, you know, some, like, my hands, my feet, and my belly were itching really bad, but I didn't really think anything of it. And I went into my appointment and I was talking to my doctor, and she was like, you know, that could be a serious complication. I want to check your liver enzyme count. So they were testing me for cholestasis, or I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, so I apologize if I butchered that. And the itching continued for several weeks, but my liver count came back okay, which was a relief because that test took over a week once they took the blood work to get the results. And so that week was kind of a stressful week for us to find out, because had they come back positive, I would have been induced that same week, which would have been right at 36 weeks. And you know, the longer baby cooks, the better. So we were hoping that wasn't going to be the case, and it was not. And so that was a relief. But I did find out that I had failed my glucose test for gestational diabetes, which I had a feeling that I might this time around. I did not with my last 2 pregnancies, and I did. So they said, you know, just be careful with your sugar intake and watch your carbs. And you know, they didn't want to put me on insulin or anything like that, thankfully. So I've been having weekly appointments. About 5 weeks ago, when I had an ultrasound done, they had asked me about my fluid intake, because I guess the fluid levels in the amniotic sac around the baby were looking a little low. And so I said, you know, I've been, you know, drinking what I should be, but I will try to increase it and see if that helps. And then from that point forward, they wanted to see me weekly to make sure that it wasn't going down, because that could be very dangerous for the baby, I guess. And so I've been sent to labor and delivery for monitoring quite a few times over the last few weeks. Just this past week alone, I've been there 4 times. So life has been very chaotic around here. I had an appointment last Wednesday, and they wanted to see me again in a week to check the fluid levels of the baby, which was this week. Everything was okay. It's still on the low side, but still considered normal, so they aren't too concerned, which is a relief. But on Thursday of last week, I started having contractions after having spent the entire day in labor and delivery being monitored, and them checking my liver enzyme count again and doing an ultrasound and all of these tests, and just to make sure that everything was okay. Woke up Thursday morning, started having some they were mild at first, they got a little more intense after a while, the contractions. And I drank water, I rested, I did all the things, and they just kept coming. So I was like, okay, well maybe, you know, maybe it's time, I don't know. But at that point I was only 35 weeks and 6 days, so not even 36 weeks yet. And this continued on all the way through Saturday. Saturday night, Angel and I decided it was probably best that I go in just to make sure everything was okay. And I'm glad I did, because I went in and I was actually in preterm labor. So my contractions were 10 minutes apart for 3 days. I was in early labor, and by the time I got there, they were 7 minutes apart, and they checked to see if I was dilating, and I went from 2 centimeters to 3 centimeters in less than an hour. And by the time they sent me home and said to come back if they were 3 to 5 minutes apart, or they were getting to the point where I could no longer speak through them. So I said, okay. They went ahead and gave me steroid injections for the baby's lungs, because I was still considered preterm. He would have been premature at that point. But I was far enough along that they weren't going to stop my labor. If he was going to come, he was going to come, is basically what they said. So still have a baby cooking, which is good news. I had to go back 24 hours later to get the second dose of steroids for his lungs, in case he were to come early, that his lungs would hopefully be fully developed. And so fast forward to yesterday, I had an appointment, and they wanted to check the baby's fluid levels, make sure they weren't getting lower, and they're still low, but they're okay. The doctor said she's not worried about anything. He looks healthy. And so she said, next week, I want to see you again in a week, and we will at that point be scheduling an induction. So she said, figure out what day works best for you guys and let me know when you come in next week. So she said any day from that night, from the day of the appointment, that night, until up to 39 weeks, that we could go ahead and choose a date. It just has to be before 39 weeks because of my condition. So we have a date picked and we're excited, but I don't think I'm gonna make it to that date. I'm gonna try everything I can to, you know, go into labor naturally on my own instead of being induced, because that's ideal. If he's ready to come out, he's gonna come out, and we're excited. We're anticipating his arrival, and yeah, so we're in the home stretch. We're less than 2 weeks away from meeting our baby boy, and we are getting excited. Things are getting real. So yeah, I hope you all are doing well, and thank you guys for the support and the prayers, and people have reached out to me to make sure we were okay, and we are doing well. I've had some scares, but we're well, and we're healthy, and we're doing well. So I suppose I will show you guys. I don't know how much more I can show you, because this belly isn't hideable at this point anymore, but I'll show you my belly, and I'll end the vlog after that. You can see my shirt doesn't even cover the bottom of my stomach anymore. So there you have it. I cannot believe we are already so close. Cannot wait. We cannot wait. So I will see you guys in our next video. Thanks for watching, and let me know down in the comments below if you guys would like to see anything in particular. I will have a ton of videos coming out soon, I'm sure, as soon as he's born, because I know that's highly anticipated video. So thanks for watching, guys. Bye.